So we are at San Polo Estate, of course. We are in the southeastern slope of Montalcino appellation. The altitude is around 450 meters above the sea level. And the nice thing about this location is that we are facing south. So we have quite a nice balance between the altitude, which is quite high, and the south facing. And this creates a nice balance between ripening level and freshness. Ripening level due to the south facing, so sun, so concentration, and the altitude gives us freshness, giving us the possibility to keep acidity and so to give a nice aging potential to the wines. Walking through the vineyards, we can see that this year we can have really a lot of clusters. So we have more choices, so we can choose which cluster we are going to keep and which cluster we are going to thin, in order to have a nice balance in the production and so a nice ripening level. Because if we keep too many clusters, then the vine is not able to ripen them all. And so then we lose concentration, we lose ripening level, we lose quality. A nice thing that you can notice from here is that the soil, since it's not raining since quite some weeks, the soil looks quite dry. There is almost no grass because it is dry, but the vines look very green, no? Yeah. And it's because the vines can, with the roots, go deep and find water. And in this area, we have, let's say, a longer growing season than usual, meaning that the bud breaking happens quite normally, so like average time, but then the ripening season is a bit later. And this longer growing season usually gives us a better structure of the tannins. So now here we can see the cellar of San Polo, which is actually right there. So as you can see, it's built underground. A very nice thing about the fact that our winery is built underground, first of all, is that it's hidden. It's not visible. So if we take a look around, as you can see, the environment is very green, very natural. And this is something that Tuscan people were very good at. They kept the environment very natural, and we did not want to be the ones to disturb this kind of natural environment. That's why we liked very much the idea of having a winery hidden inside the soil. A nice fact about the building process of this cellar is that it was built according to the principles of bioarchitecture. So it's a building that has been designed in order to work using as less energy as possible. So everything actually here is done using nature rather than using some kind of forced circulation systems. Actually, the cellar is divided into two main areas. The one where we are right now is for the vinification. So as you can see, we have concrete tanks, stainless steel tanks, and wooden vats for the fermentation. So we bring in the grapes in this area, we process the grapes, and we have the fermentation right here. Then after the fermentation, we have another area which is put deeper into the hill, behind those walls over there, where you have the wood aging system. Actually, we are using concrete or cement for the vinification of our Rosso di Montalcino and our Brunello di Montalcino. Why we are using concrete? Because concrete is very good to keep a stable temperature. For our Rubio, our IGT wine, our entry-level wine, we are using stainless steel tanks. Because it's an opposite kind of material, stainless steel is very good to change the temperature. A couple years ago, 2020, we started using terracotta, amphora, for the vinification and aging of Sangiovese. The biggest work that we did on this kind of wine was choosing the right grapes that should be vinified in amphora. Because the vinification process, it's really, I call it almost like ancestral, so we don't do almost anything. Usually our Brunello starts in this part, so a smaller oak, and then while the aging goes on, we rack it into the big ones. It's a kind of air conditioning, but it's natural because the water is coming from a spring in our vineyard, so it's coming already cool but not cold. It's a kind of closed circulation, so there is no waste of any water because the water comes out from the spring, flows into the pipeline, and then goes back. And the nice fact is that by coming out cool, it creates a cool layer close to the ceiling, so the warm air, which is lighter, tends to go up, touches the cool pipeline, becomes cooler, and naturally comes down because it's heavier. Building techniques which are helping us in controlling the conditions are those kind of walls here, covered with tufo. Tufo is a very typical kind of rock from central Italy, and it's very porous. So what happens is that they can absorb the humidity when it's too much, and they can give it back when it's too low. So they help us in keeping a stable level of humidity, again without any kind of humidification or dehumidification system.
And that's a wrap. Tune in tomorrow for Stevie's visit to the San Polo Wine Estate in Tuscany and her deep dive interview with Marilisa Allegrini. Don't forget to subscribe and like all our channels. Chin chin, and thanks for listening.